Now I'm speaking with Admiral Sterney, Admiral Scott Sterney, and he's a commander of what?
Carrier Strike Group 4. Carrier Strike Group 4 is a command that certifies and trains all Navy ships on the East Coast for deployment.
And so this is one of your many ships. How many ships are there on the East Coast?
I can't tell you the exact numbers, but what we have
I'm sure
here
that's
right
classified.
now in our parade of ships, we have three great vessels. We have the USS Cole ahead of us right now in formation, leading us into New York Harbor. We're aboard Oak Hill, as you well know. And then calling up the rear is the USS McFall. And we'll have a couple of Coast Guard cutters in between us joining the formation. And as we go by Fort Hamilton here, they'll render a salute to all of these ships as we're entering New York.
Now, September 11th obviously is a special day for New Yorkers, one that those of us, especially who were here, will never forget. Where were you on September 11th?
Yeah, that's a great question, because on September 12th, I was here about a mile off the coast of Manhattan. We diverted a number of my aircraft. I was an aircraft commander, a squadron commander on John F. Kennedy, and instead of going to John F. Kennedy, we diverted them up here. So I woke up on 9/12 at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we were flying air cap missions over Long Island, and I was looking northbound at the devastation and the cloud of smoke that was still billowing out of the remnants of number 1 and number 2 World Trade Center. So this really hits home for me. I spent about a week at sea right off the coast of Long Island just doing long racetrack patterns here while we're trying to secure the airspace.
And nobody else was in the airspace, right?
Nobody else was in the airspace except for Navy and Air Force fighter aircraft.
You knew that your whole career changed that day. I mean, the whole country changed that day, the whole history of the world changed that day. What were your first thoughts when you flew into New York?
Flew to New York is what a great city this is, and you know, for me right now, looking northbound and looking at the Freedom Tower that is rising in the rubbish of 1 and 2 World Trade Center, it's such an inspiring thought. The strength and the resolve of our country, and we look at Cole, another ship, another great embodiment of our national willpower ahead of us, and we rebuilt her in 2 years, and she's sailing, leading us into New York. I think it's a very special moment.
So the
today.
significance of this is really profound. I mean, you were
really
here
is.
the day after September 11th. You were here as the first line of defense for the nation after that horrific attack, and you're now leading the group that's going in. Here we are several years later, rebuilt Freedom Tower, rebuilt in the ashes of the Trade Center, and we're being led by the USS Cole.
So that was 13 and a half years ago, but the sailors that you see here on this ship, they were in elementary school 13 and a half years ago. 80% of them are under the age of 24, and they represent less than 1/2% of America that volunteers. They put up the right hand and they say, I want to serve the U.S. military, and these sailors and Marines want to serve on Navy ships. And it's just a great testament that we can really bring these America's best aboard this ship and bring them into this great New York City, and they're just going to have a great Fleet Week.
Thank you very much, Admiral. And what is the expression? Good, fair seas and following winds?
Fair seas and following winds.
To you.
Thank you, KT.
Thanks very much. That's it.